Hello everyone, how are you guys? Hope everyone is doing well. In my last video, I emphasized the differences between Monstera Esqueleto and Monstera adansonii. And in today's vlog, it's all about Monstera Esqueleto. I will share to you the cycle where new growth of Monstera Esqueleto emerge. And I will discuss the essential tips for keeping my Monstera healthy and beautiful. Monstera Esqueleto, also called as Monstera epiprimnoides, is a rare tropical plant from the Eresiae family of plants. What distinguishes this plant from other monsteras is the size and fenestrations of the leaves. They can measure as much as 50 cm long and 35 cm wide. While some Monstera species are very fast growers, this Monstera Esqueleto is a slow-growing plant, but don't let that deter you from adding this plant to your collection. The wait is really worth it. We can see that she still looks fabulous, and her new baby just unfurled in just approximately 2 months. Monstera adansonii, as long as you can provide warm, humid conditions and its proper care, Monstera adansonii has a fast growth rate, but typically will not reach its full size compared to Monstera Esqueleto. Monstera Esqueleto is a rare plant and is in high demand because of its beautiful and enormous leaves, which resemble a larger version of the much more common Monstera adansonii. And here's the stages from being a tiny shoot to a fully unfurled Monstera Esqueleto. It took about 2 months for the new leaves to fully emerge. I provided my Monstera Esqueleto the perfect environment and the proper care, and most probably that would be the reason or why it unfurled quicker and beautiful. Here's my ways on how to care for Monstera epiprimnoides, or Monstera Esqueleto as it is called nowadays. Light. Monstera Esqueleto likes bright to medium indirect light. Too much direct light will damage the leaves, while not enough light will prevent the plant from growing well and also prevent from developing lots of big fenestrations. Fenestration is the technical term for plants making holes on clear parts in their leaves. Soil. I am using 50% cocoa chips, 20% compost, 20% perlite, 10% garden soil. But for some grower, they're using more on cocoa chips, like around 80% of cocoa chips and 20% of perlite. By using more on cocoa chips, we need to feel the cocoa chips with our fingers to see how dry it has become since the last time we watered, to determine if it's time to water again. Cocoa chips retains moisture and provides good environment, and is one of the most effective growing media for water retention. It can absorb up to 10 times of its weight in water, meaning the roots of your plants will never get dehydrated. But water sparingly, because constantly watering cocoa chips will result in overwatering. Fertilizer. Feeding Monstera Esqueleto will provide a beneficial boost of nutrients, but be warned that too much can build up of fertilizer in the soil and can cause root or leaf burn. I am using Osmocote for green slow-release fertilizer. Make sure that after applying fertilizer, water the soil thoroughly. Watering. Water the plant pot in a sink, or you may use a basin to direct water towards the soil. Allow water to seep through the drainage holes freely. Let it drip, and if it stops dripping, put it back into a ceramic pot or any of your pots. Do not allow excess water to collect for long periods in the drip tray or container. Pruning. As a Monstera Esqueleto is allowed to slowly creep and climb, it may need to be pruned from time to time. Go easy because this is a slow grower and leaves take time to mature. Just trim away any damaged, yellow, or dead foliage. Pruning also will encourage new growth if you want to create a bushier, fuller plant. Repotting. Monstera Esqueleto is a slow-growing plant, and so should only need to be repotted occasionally. Monstera plants are well known for suffering a degree of stress after they have been repotted because it is so easy to damage the roots. Here are some general guidelines in the best way to do it. Water them and wait 2 days before repotting. Hardened roots will be softened and will be easier to remove from the edges of the pot. This will help to prevent root damage. Choose a pot that is light, larger, and has a good size drainage holes. If you are using more on-soil potting mix medium, I suggest do not fertilize yet after repotting. Wait for at least a few weeks, because most potting mix contained a healthy dose of nutrients, and any more may be too much for your plant to absorb. Whenever you use cocoa chips, soak and submerge the cocoa chips in water. Let it sit for at least 2 nights, and if cocoa chips is in cube, you may use a scissor to cut or loosen. It is best to soak cocoa chips before using. Pests. While Monstera is not susceptible to pests, there is always a risk of pests when you own a houseplant. Potential pests include fungus gnats, spider mites, mealybugs, and scales. Humidity. You may boost the humidity levels with a small humidifier. Grouping with other plants, which increases the humidity of the air around them, is also another way. And I recommend frequent misting of its leaves. But sometimes it may go wrong, because fungal spores have been known to germinate on foliage if misting is overdone. Misting plants in homes with poor air circulation causes bacteria to grow and multiply on your plant. Last but not least, plants are like humans and animals. They need a loving, tender care from us to survive. That's all for today. If you learned something new today, or if you have anything to say, please leave a comment, and it would mean the world to me if you will subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Marami pong salamat. Bye!